Booked, the bookstore education podcast brought to you by the American Booksellers Association. This episode is part of our Bookseller Lightning Talk series, in which booksellers present short talks on tech tools, organizational strategies, communication methods, or innovations they've made in their stores. I'd love to bring on Emily from A Seat at the Table. Emily, I'm going to spotlight you for everyone, and you are good to go.
Hi, all. I own A Seat at the Table Books, which is a bookstore, cafe, and community hub in Elk Grove, California, just south of Sacramento. Our business model is a little more complex because we do have the cafe. We are an event hub. We take reservations, etc. So we have a lot going on here. And when I was looking at launching our Save ASATT or ASAT campaign to try to keep the store open, I had looked at a lot of other stores and how they did a number of books a day that they needed to sell to stay open, or a number of books a month. And because we have French toast and waffles and avocado toast and sandwiches and lattes, I wasn't able to use that book metric for our approach. So we came up with a different system to use, and I'm sharing about that today. So the Save ASAP campaign was really calling for people to help us keep the store open. We had tried softer messaging around just the value of bookstores and all the things that we talk about through the ABA and our trade associations to get people in the door. And what we discovered is that we needed them to understand just how serious our situation was, that we weren't going to stay open if they weren't showing up. So for us, I'm going to share some of our numbers for transparency, so you have something to look at. I think that's something we need more of. But we looked at the basic that we would need to cover our required costs that we really cannot miss each month in order to stay open. So that included our rent and payroll and other recurring bills, but not anything additional toward the debt. And the bare bones number we have to make every day is $2,000. Ideally, we'd be making $2,500 or $3,000 a day. We're in California. Our rent is high. Our payroll is high. We have 10 or 11 people on staff at a time. Our average sale is $20 across the bookstore and cafe. Not surprising, the average sale from what I've seen in book selling is $30, and in cafes is about $10. So we come in right in the middle at about $20 per sale. So that means that to make $2,000, we have to make 100 sales, and to make $3,000, we have to make 150 sales in a day. So we looked at this information and thought about how we could message this the best. First of all, 100, I love it. It's a nice round number. It's an easy number for people to understand. So we decided we would run with that since it's accurate and very easy to understand. And we also think that having goals that are scalable but also achievable is very important. So starting at that 100, which is just keep the doors open while we're really pinching every penny, is a good place to start because we're not there yet. We were hitting 50 to 70 sales a day most of the time before we started this campaign. The other thing about looking at a number of sales per day is it recognizes that seasons fluctuate, that January is not December, and we can't expect January to be December. January is also not April when we have Indie Bookstore Day. So recognizing that there will be seasonal fluctuation is important. And then we looked at how we're going to actually message this. And the messaging is that we need 100 customers per day. So we didn't talk about books. We didn't talk about sales. We talked about customers, because customers are why we are here. The people in our community are why they are here, why we are here. And customers have a very different set of benefits to the store and impacts on the store than individual sales do. Customers are the people who give us word of mouth. Customers are the people who give us consistent business, so the people who bring friends here. Customers are the people who respond to calls for support. They give us a sense of energy within the space. The more customers are here, even if they each bought a $6 drink instead of a $25 book, They are creating energy in the space that affects other people who come into the space. They're eating the flatbread that someone else is going to see and want to get. They're swapping stories about the books they're reading. And individual customers might choose to make multiple purchases while they're spending time here and hanging out. But ultimately, people are what matters most. And the customer metric then allows people to feel valued no matter how much they're able to spend. We have a lot of people that really want to keep us open, and they can buy a $3 BC mini pen while they're here. They can't always make a larger purchase, but they can tell people on their birthday that they want gift cards to a seat at the table. So it keeps that focus where it needs to be on the community, and it really aligns with the Save ASAP messaging that we need everyone to come together to keep us open.
Emily, that was phenomenal. Thank you. Thank you for listening to Booked, the bookstore education podcast brought to you by the American Booksellers Association. Don't forget to subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast app. Additional educational resources can always be found on the ABA website at www.bookweb.org. Happy reading!